Hey, what's up? I'm doing this week's movie recommendation. So, the movie I'm going to recommend is Synecdoche, New York, written and directed by my personal favorite screenwriter, Charlie Kaufman. He's also made movies like Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and most recently Anomalisa, which is like a stop motion indie film, but it just won a whole bunch of awards and it was nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars this year. So he's a good guy. He's made a lot of good stuff, and this was the first movie that he's directed. And Synecdoche, New York is just it's so hard to describe in just one sitting. I guess I'll try to describe the plot. The main character is played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who does an amazing job. And he's this theater director who is pretty much just struggling with his life. He has a crappy marriage. He's trying to connect with his daughter, all the while being tempted by other women in his theater productions. And he makes some crappy decisions, and his life just spirals into this weird philosophical kind of depressing thing. It's so weird. It's hard to stay on track because I keep thinking about like where the plot goes, and it's just really interesting. Long story short, he is a success as a theater director, and he gets this grant and he gets a lot of money, and he decides that he's going to spend it on this ultimate theater project of his, in which he buys this ginormous warehouse, and inside he builds a life-size replica of New York City, and he casts people as real people he knows. So like he casts someone to play himself, he casts someone to play his wife or like his girlfriend, and like all these other people. So he like starts having to deal with life inside of the warehouse as well as outside of the warehouse, if that's a way I can describe it. I don't know. You don't really watch it for the plot, you watch it for the questions it raises. It's a very philosophical movie. So if you're not into movies that make you think a lot, this is not for you. But if you are, Jesus Christ, this movie is for you. It's going to be confusing in a lot of ways the first time you see it. There's a lot of symbolism, a lot of things that mean other things, so if you think that like movies that use symbolism too much are kind of pretentious, you might not be into this. But if you can buy into symbolism and you can buy into like visual metaphors and everything, then you're really gonna like this one. I know I do, so I did. And it just allows you to absorb the message of the movie a lot more, which is really cryptic and hard to decipher. I'm having such a problem describing this movie right now because I keep thinking about it. All I can say about this movie, really, without spoiling too much or trying to explain the main themes of the film without even having you see it first, this is a movie about life. It's just about the questions that we deal with every day as a human being, and the questions that overarch our entire lives as human beings. What is my purpose? Am I doing things correctly? Am I happy? If not, how can I become happy? Should I be doing something else instead of what I'm doing right now? And I'm going to warn you, upon your first viewing of this movie, it may seem depressing. It may seem like a depressing movie. It may seem like the message it's trying to convey is a hopeless one, but it's not. And without saying too much, see the movie as a tale of caution, like a cautionary tale, instead of an omen. Instead of it saying, this is how life is, think of it as saying, maybe this is how you shouldn't live. And that's all I really want to say about the movie as a whole, because it really is a journey that you have to go through. It's one of the most thoughtful, most human movies I've ever seen. And the only reason it's like not my favorite movie of all time is because it gets a little slow at points. The pacing tends to drag a little bit, and I think it's purposeful, but it doesn't change the fact that the pacing was a little bit slow. But this is an incredibly thoughtful movie, thought-provoking movie. It really does change the way you look at things. So I can't recommend this movie more. It really touched me. It moved me. And I think that if you give this movie a shot and you go in with an open mind, accepting that it's going to be a little weird and there's going to be some symbolism, and you just try to get the most out of the film, you're going to have a very similar experience to me, where it's unlike any other film you've ever seen, ever. So that's kind of high expectations, but I think this movie really delivers. So the movie I have to recommend this week is Synecdoche, New York, directed by Charlie Kaufman. Thanks for watching. Bye.